Aw, shit. I'm lagging balls.
That's right, Lagging Balls, your community-focused World of Warcraft podcast. For the people, by some people, with your hosts, Thorn and Fist. Hey, Fist, how's it going?
Oh, yeah, it's going pretty well.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for asking.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Not much. Let's see, I did my nails last night.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Reading Reddit a lot. Have you been on that,
I love Reddit.
Pokeporn subreddit?
Yeah, I feel like that's maybe a topic for another time.
You sure you don't want to talk about it now?
I really do, actually. I actually really do. But I feel like we're forgetting something.
I am wearing pants, yes.
Oh, well, that's different.
That is different.
Yeah, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
That's new. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
And disappointed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But that's all you've been up to?
Yeah.
Pokeborn and that's it?
Wearing pants.
Oh, that's great.
They seem to sort of negate each other, though. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, really, they are counterproductive, those two things. But I feel like what you're forgetting is Legion!
Oh, yeah. Freaking Legion
Oh,
came out
yeah?
this
What do you
week.
mean, oh, yeah? What is this oh, yeah crap? Oh, my God, Legion's here. Finally.
Is this the first expansion that we've had, like, during the podcast? When did what? Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's the first expansion that we've experienced while doing this podcast.
Right. We are a year and 10 weeks or so into the podcast.
Yeah.
And 15 weeks.
Wow.
A year and 15 weeks into the podcast, and there was not Warlords of Draenor dropped almost 2 years ago. So definitely not.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but launch night was way fun.
Oh my god, it was. It's just launch night for gamers like us is like Christmas.
It really is.
It's like, okay, let's see how I can liken the two. So you are anticipating it. You get that feeling in your stomach. You're just like, oh, I want it so good.
In your loins.
Yeah.
Stomach.
Yeah. But when you're a kid, you can't contain it, right? So you're just jumping around and misbehaving and just going crazy. And
Can
then
I open a present
Exactly. And then when you're an adult, you still feel it, but part of you has died. So
Can I get Legion early?
Exactly. So that's what it feels like. It feels like you're just anticipating something, and since it usually happens at night, I know it came out around 5 o'clock in the afternoon for our Australian listeners.
Oh, lucky.
Beautiful, gorgeous Australians.
They are awfully handsome and beautiful, aren't they?
I know!
There's something in the water in Australia.
Sharks.
Shit.
Yeah.
So maybe it keeps them out of the water in Australia.
Whatever it is. But yeah, so, you're waiting for it all day, and then it's you're counting down the minutes, and then it finally arrives, and all your friends are celebrating it. It's like a whole community thing. It's like when everybody's celebrating a holiday, and you're like, yeah, everybody's celebrating this holiday, so you can, be excited about it with other people.
Yeah.
That's what launch night feels like.
And there's lines for retail around say Christmas or something like that.
Exactly.
Long lines for retail and people all trying to buy some of the same things, the newest hottest toys and stuff like that. And here there's lines for GameStop and EB Games and people all lining up to buy the newest, latest, hottest game that launches that day.
Midnight releases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to find more active stores that do that so we can go dress up or
I did that
meet
once
our other people.
for Cataclysm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a wonderful, magical night. It was snowing.
That's when you were still in Canada.
Yeah. So, of course, it was magical and snowing. But,
That's redundant.
yeah, I went to the midnight release of it with some friends from work, and they were all, dudes younger than me.
Okay.
So it was kind of awkward, but we were friends, and we went to EB Games, and we stood in line with all these awesome people, and I got my game, and it came with a cool mouse pad and a cool poster.
Man.
I know, and then I went home and, installed the discs.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was 2010.
Holy shit.
That was almost 6 years ago.
Wow.
I had to bring it up to look at the
that was a long ass
launch
time
date.
ago. Holy
But yeah, that was 2010 when Cataclysm hit.
And that was right around the time that you and I met online.
Yeah.
So we
a little bit after,
were doing that expansion together. And then
the greatest expansion ever so far.
Yeah.
Wrath of the Lich King.
Honestly, like anything before Cata, I hardly remember because it was so long ago.
Yeah, just in terms of time.
Yeah, I remember. Like, I think I just.
But wait, weren't you like a vanilla player?
Well, of course, I was a vanilla player.
I know. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to bring it up.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I must have just like bought the CD-ROM and came home and installed it.
CD-ROM.
I do remember the night that I installed like all 1,700 of the original vanilla discs on my old computer.
God.
I remember, like, since my computer was so bad, I had to like put the disc in and then let it run. And then it would take literally like 50 minutes. So I'd have to leave the computer because I couldn't do anything else on it while I was installing.
Right.
And go sit in the living room, like a different room, to watch TV with my family because we only had one TV at the time because it was like olden days. And go in and check back and see, and then like stick in another. I still have those discs in the sleeves.
Aww.
Yeah, sentimental.
That's a beautiful thing. Don't ever let that go.
I won't. But yeah, so that Cat is the last one I recall clearly. And do you remember Cataclysm?
Oh, yeah. Well, I definitely remember Cataclysm. But what I'm trying to remember is, like, what my setup was at the time and, like, how I reacted to it. And I can't remember. I definitely didn't have, like, a launch day experience for Cataclysm. Like, for Wrath, I came in after it had started, so I didn't have it for that either.
Yeah.
But for Cataclysm, I believe I wanted to have a launch day experience, but I was just... with my work schedule, I couldn't, and my life situation, I couldn't facilitate.
You weren't living like the hardcore gamer lifestyle at that point.
No, I was still realizing myself at the time.
Finding yourself.
Yeah, but I was definitely doing the playing too much. So I was actually full on in the playing too much playing more than was good for myself at the time.
Yeah.
Period of my gaming. I was just realizing that, like, oh, this whole gaming thing is fun. Go figure, something called a game is fun. But I just had only had some console experiences before that, and just hadn't had anything that was so, something that was, so, and you know how an MMO sticks around. It's pervasive.
Yeah.
It's always on.
It's your second life.
There's no end to the game. You don't beat the game.
You don't pause life.
Right.
You don't pause life.
Mom, I'm raiding! So, I had that going on, and I was definitely deep in it. And then I met you, and I met everybody from the guild. We had just formed the guild. So my whole social atmosphere had switched to online, which was unusual for me and had never been the case for me before. So, the fact that there was a launch coming, everybody was doing something, and I wanted to do something, and I couldn't. So Mists of Pandaria was the first time.
Yes, and that's when we were... really good friends and both officers. Well, you're the guild leader and I was an officer in the guild at that point.
Yeah.
And
so we all made plans, a whole bunch of us.
Yeah, that dropped at like 3 a.m. or something like that. Like something or just like ridiculously late. And so we got like the snacks ready. We got like sleep beforehand just in case.
Yeah. And, special shopping trips for snacks.
Yes.
For Mists of Pandaria launch.
And that's what we did for WAD as well.
Yeah. And both times there were no DDoS stuff that I remember, but server issues.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of server issues with just overload.
For WAD, it was funny because, like, we were fine unless we logged out of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Because once you, like, exited the game, if you tried to get back in, you'd be put into a queue that was absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, right.
So, like, we had to stay online.
Yeah.
And if we were AFK, we had to, like, run back to the keyboard every so often just to make sure that it didn't log us out.
Yeah.
Because then it would take ages to get back on. But that was the thing. So, like, everything was fine for us. Like, everything was shitty for everyone else. But for us, it's like, as long as we stay in, we're fine.
Yeah.
We can keep playing. It's okay. Just
don't
breathe.
stop. Don't ever stop.
Don't ever stop.
And I think I took, I'm pretty sure I took, like, time off of work for that one.
Yeah.
So it was the first, Mists of Pandaria was the first launch where I, like, set aside time in my life.
Yeah.
for the launch.
I bought one of those. You know those like big cartons full of Whoppers?
Yeah.
I got one of those, and I just and I was just like it was like next to my monitor, and it was open like a carton of milk, and I just like down those fucking things. It's like blah, 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 and I'm like and it's like, oh, why do I feel so shitty? Oh well, keep playing. And that was the beginning of WoD. I think was like, I hate to say it, but it was like the least fun I'd had with an expansion overall. Like, not an expansion, but like the first couple days.
Because of issues, or?
Because you and I were trying to catch up to people leveling. People who wanted to raid immediately.
Right.
And
right. So we were speeding through.
Yeah, so we were speeding through. We weren't logging off at all because we couldn't get back on when we wanted to. So it was literally just like, gotta stay up, gotta eat shitty food, gotta stay awake, can't log off, gotta level.
Yeah,
and then we got to level,
and
then we got to level 100, and it's just like, okay, now we gotta raid, we gotta gear, and it was just like, I mean, I thought it was fun at the time, but like looking back on it, it was just way too much. It was too fast, it was too much, like I wasn't... And don't get me wrong, like, I'm all for, like, staying up forever and eating shitty food and playing WoW and leveling, you know? But when you're feeling pressured...
Gremlin Diva style?
Exactly. I'm all about that. But when you're feeling pressured, it takes a huge chunk of fun out of it, because you're not being a Gremlin Diva for pleasure. You're doing it because you feel like you need to catch up.
Sure.
So...
And I think that might be that's probably right there, the root of why some of the top raid teams break up.
Yeah.
That kind of pressure, it's... Whenever you put that kind of pressure on something fun, it stops being fun.
Exactly. It's like...
That's why they say you should do something when they say you should do something you love for work, I'm like, no, do something you hate. So when you're done with work... I'm just kidding. You're nodding, but I was just...
I don't know. I think... And this is completely off topic, but, like, I think... maybe there's a fine line, like maybe there's like a certain way some people need to go about like playing a game as a job, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you are not going to be necessarily successful at this game if you're not having fun, because that is what it is for.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like if you're an artist for a cartoon show and you hate cartoons, why are you doing it? You know?
Yeah.
It's like if you're playing video games as a job, like for no fun, why are you doing it? So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm literally talking about things I don't know about, because, like, obviously I'm not an esports player, but I feel like sucking the fun out of video games just completely ruins the point of playing in the first place, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, at the time we had no idea.
Yeah.
We were doing this happily, and, you know, it's like you said at the beginning of this point, it was, in hindsight, it's probably some of the least fun you had. At the time, it wasn't.
Yeah.
At the time, we were having a fine time with it.
Yeah.
Mists of Pandaria was absolutely gorgeous.
It was.
And it was one of the first times. Cataclysm was about destruction and about change. It wasn't necessarily... There were some very beautiful things in Cataclysm, and some things that remained after Cataclysm that are still very gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it's also just about, like, giant blackened areas that are ripped apart. And huge changes to areas.
Like the Barrens, for example, which I'm still pissed off about.
Exactly. Yeah, or 1,000 Needles filling with water. You know, those sorts of changes where some of it's beautiful, most of it is just a change.
Yeah.
Whereas Mists of Pandaria was this brand new, entirely new continent of land. It was just incredibly themed, incredibly art directed. It was just absolutely gorgeous. It was an experience. Mm-hmm. And we just, you know... It's not like we weren't having fun. We were having a fucking blast at the time.
Yeah.
We were trying to speed through, and we were having trouble doing it because we kept getting distracted by the interesting storylines and all the characters popping up.
Plus,
and Ukinum in the Duker.
It was hard to speed.
Remember Ukinum in the Duker?
Of course. But it was hard to speed through MoP because of the dailies. Like, you needed dailies.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can only do so many a day. And they're called dailies for a reason.
Right. Yeah. So... Mists of Pandaria was one launch. The Warlords of Draenor launch, then.
Yes, WoD. Yeah, it was...
We did that one together, too?
Yeah.
With our guildmates.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's the best fucking way to do this. Is just to have a whole group of people.
Yeah.
All online at once, and maybe complaining about being able to get to one or another quest giver because it's too crowded or too many people on their damn mounts.
Yeah, I remember it was 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. or whenever WoD came out, and we were just in TeamSpeak with some of our favorite guildies, and we were just experiencing it all together, and it was really nice. And we were like, "Oh, what are you eating? What are you eating?"
That sounds like the lunch from this week.
Yeah, but then the people that we were going to raid with, we didn't even know them for that long, so that was an added sort of, And I think the worst part about it was the people that we were raiding with were more hardcore than we were, and they would level so quickly and then tell us about things that we hadn't figured out yet or seen yet.
Spoilers left and right.
Spoilers left and right, and then they'd be like, "Oh, haven't you done this yet? Haven't you done this yet?" And we're like, "No."
In fact, they got so far ahead that they went off to camp that Gronling mount.
The Cold Fist dude.
The one that you had to go switch servers for and sit with giant groups of people, sit around waiting for him to spawn.
Yeah, because they had nothing else to do, and we were still leveling. It's okay.
And we also had really bad computers still.
Yes.
We still had such bad equipment that it was still the reason why Lagging Balls is called Lagging Balls.
Yeah. But yeah, so before we get into Legion, I just want to say that this episode of Lagging Balls is almost completely freeform. Usually we have kind of a structure. Usually we have different segments. We're not going to have that this time.
Yeah.
Just because you're all playing Legion, and I mean most of you are playing Legion. I mean I'm sure there's some people who aren't. Maybe?
Yeah, I just found this really great private server for Warlords of Draenor. And we all are having a really good time there.
Yeah, sure.
By ourselves.
Sure. Okay.
Just us. We love garrisons. We love garrisons.
I'm telling Blizz, and it's gonna get shut down.
We love garrisons. We love garrisons.
I'm telling. But yeah, so it's more freeform, and we're not gonna spoil anything really.
No, we're just gonna talk about experiences.
Yeah.
And maybe specific things that are not
won't ruin everything for you.
Right.
But we just think that this podcast is coming out too soon after the launch date, and we know that a lot of you have had to work, and you aren't at 110 yet, and yada yada. Neither are we, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
I'm 102 going on 103.
I'm 103. We've been playing 2 characters each, so we're slower, but we've had to work and stuff like that for the first time during an expansion. So
yeah.
So we just wanted to say that, we're not going to be telling you where to go, what to do, because we don't even know either. We're just
Well, since when do they give them any information that's actually useful for them?
That's true. Yeah, so this week's episode is going to be a little different. So if you're actually new with us this week, we don't usually sound like this, but we just wanted to do something a little different because this week is very, very, very special to us.
Right.
So yeah.
And if you are new to the show, welcome.
Yes.
And welcome back to Warcraft, which I'm betting is probably what brought you here.
Hells yeah.
Because Legion is the reason for it. We are seeing in our guild a lot of old names of people coming back.
Did you just say Legion is the reason? Oh, that doesn't rhyme. I thought it rhymed.
Legion is the region?
That's so stupid. I was like, Legion is the reason? That rhymes. Nope. Anyway, cut that out.
Yeah, so we've got all kinds of great people coming back from the guild and coming back online. We had one guy who had 10 tunes in the guild last night that all started with the letters OMG.
Yeah.
He's like, OMG a priest, OMG
my
paladin.
favorite one was OMG a DK.
Yeah.
It's all just little abbreviations.
It's all abbreviations, yeah.
OMG a DK.
But I can't remember. I think he was a friend of a friend from God knows from however long ago.
Yeah.
But we watched him systematically come online, get a bunch of achievements that you get from
just logging on
very old things, and then leave the guild. And we were greeting him, and it became a joke in guild chat because we were like, "Hey man, what's going on? Oh hey, you're on another tune. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back on this one." And then he'd get some achievements in a couple minutes, and then he'd be like, "All right, well, it was great. Have a good time." And then he'd leave the guild without responding to any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, "Hey, I'll help him out." And I jumped over to the list of guildmates and just tossed all of his OMG tunes because he was gonna do that anyway.
Yeah,
so.
just help him out. Just here you go, buddy.
Yeah,
have fun out in the world.
Because he's coming back too from God knows how long.
Yeah, I don't
And then
even
we
know
have
who
a
that
new
guy is.
guildmate last night who is another friend of a friend who hasn't played since Kata.
Yeah. And a new guildmate who's never played at all.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that's like kind of cool. Like our guild's been going since 2009.
Yeah.
So there's lots of people who, you know, every single expansion they come out of like history. They come out of the pages of history, and they're in the present. And I don't know why I'm talking. That's my historical voice.
Nice. I like it.
It hurts my throat. Good thing it's in the past.
But yeah, people come back. A new expansion brings people together. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Ding dong ding. Sorry.
Legion
Is the reason.
Shit. It's taking a weird turn.
It is, but doesn't it usually?
It does. But for Legion launch,
Yes.
so we both went the hell to sleep. We came back from work, went to sleep, right?
Around like 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went to sleep and I set like 13 alarms.
Yep.
Like on my iPhone, I was like, okay, set alarm for 1:45 a.m.
Yeah, because ours dropped at 2 a.m.
Yeah, and then set alarm for 1:46 a.m. and
Yeah.
1:47 a.m. and 1:48 a.m. 1:49. It was just like, you know, one
Just
after
in
another.
case.
Yeah, because and then I also set alarms for the next morning in case the worst should happen and I should not wake up on time.
Yeah, because, you know, work the next day, so.
Right.
But yeah, so we got up at 2 or like 1:45 and logged into Curse Voice and WoW and promptly ordered pizza because,
Yes.
expansion.
Yeah, and that was a great idea, by the way.
Thank you. Pizza's always a good idea.
I'm a little surprised I wasn't the one to think about it.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
bravo to you.
Thank you.
Because that worked out really well for everybody involved.
Video games and food go
Yes.
together so well. Can I
Right,
just say,
right.
I love food.
Yeah, those new mics. Mmm.
Yeah, everybody
What's a
wants to hear
tasty
that.
beverage?
Your tasty beverage.
But yeah, so we ordered food, which was not pre-planned, but we were like, hey, it's late, but it's not so late. So we ordered food. We had all the guildies in Curse Voice, which Curse Voice worked like a charm for all of this, which was wonderful.
Yeah.
Loving that so far.
And then 2 a.m. rolled around, and there was Legion.
Yeah, and
Just like that.
right, and I think in terms of launch day, okay, we had expectations, right?
Yes.
We expected that the servers would be overloaded.
Yes.
We expected that there would be probably some DDoS attacks because people are assholes.
Yes.
We expected that things would go wrong and the game would not progress as normal because in every previous expansion, everybody's going to the one quest giver.
Yeah.
And you gotta hover around all those fucking
and there's
mounts.
that one dude who's on his, like, tundra
Corehound.
mammoth mount.
Yes.
With the people on it.
Yes.
And
Just blocking it on purpose, being
Yeah.
a dick. So we expect all that, right?
yeah.
And then, you know, and honestly, like, we weren't thinking it through because I think it had been such a long time coming. We knew that you could start in different zones, and that turned out to be fucking brilliant
Yes.
because it really smoothed out the experience.
And not only different zones, but like different class halls and
Yes.
everything. So like people were just like as split up as they could be. Even in Dalaran, you know, people were off doing their own quests further.
Yeah.
And even within their classes, they were doing different artifact quests.
Yeah.
So it was like split 3 ways, and it was just fucking like butter, man.
Yeah, it was great.
It was just smooth.
Yes.
Oh, I've never had such a smooth expansion experience. Like,
Yeah.
usually, you can't play, like, through 2 expansions, you know? Like, it goes off, and then it comes back on, you know?
Yeah.
Or, like, you install it with a CD-ROM, you know? But this time, we're just, like, we're sitting in WoW, like usual, in WoD, and then all of a sudden, it's Legion.
Yes.
And you're like, wow. And it's
Yeah.
it's just...
and then people in chat are freaking out, like, I got the quest! I got the intro quest!
Yeah.
It just popped up! And then, like, mine wasn't working on one tune, so I switched to another tune, and then
it
it was
was.
working just
Yeah.
fine on that one, so I started on that one, and
yeah.
we were off to the races. And then it was all comments from everybody in voice about, wow, this thing looks so cool, or this area looks amazing, or wow, there's so many mobs
Yeah.
here, and holy crap, these guys hit hard.
Yeah.
And,
And I love that. It's so beautiful. So kudos to Blizz. Like, you just really, really nailed it this time.
Yeah.
So beautiful, so wonderful, and without going into too much detail, I knew that, like, class halls and artifacts, like, just making you feel special within your own class and your own spec would make you feel good, but holy shit, does it make you feel good?
Yeah.
You know, like, it's...
The sense of community is back.
Yes, it is. And just, like, being in your class hall and seeing all, like, for me, all these mages running around, and I'm just like, yeah, we picked the best class, didn't we? But yeah, and just, like, and doing things specifically for mages, and like, learning mage lore, and, like, using mage weapons, like, especially for me, and people talking to me, and like, Khadgar calling me an archmage.
Oh,
like,
man, that's cool.
Fuck! You know, like, it's what we all secretly want in our hearts, right? It's like we want to feel special in this game because we love our characters. Like, you have to love your character if you're willing to put, like, so much effort and time and thought and heart into it. So when the game sort of reflects all of your hard work and your individuality, it's so gratifying.
It really is. It's,
like, beautiful.
Yeah. And, you know, they tried to do that in Warlords of Draenor, and in large part succeeded. And I remember it feeling very special, and I remember us talking about it feeling very special.
Yeah, the way
right at the beginning,
the way they were calling us, like, champion, and, like, we were, like, the leaders of our garrison.
General,
and,
and, like, your rank kept going up as you established your garrison more and more.
Yeah, and now it's even more specific to you as a character. And I really hope that Blizzard continues in that direction, just making it even more specific.
Yeah, but what I think is, like, incredibly brilliant about it is they did the same thing, making us feel extra special, but this time it's inclusive of the community instead of segmenting us out.
Yeah.
Which I still, like, again, at the time, had no problem with. I thought it was the coolest, and garrisons were very cool to me for a long time until they got tiresome.
Yeah.
I think they probably would have stayed that way if it was possible to make such an expansive world and game faster.
Yeah.
Then I don't think we would have gotten as tired of it as we did. Mm-hmm. But now that we have class halls, I like there were parts of it that popped up, like the quests and, like, the class table or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The thing that's the equivalent of your garrison table.
Yeah.
When I first saw that, I was like, no. Oh, no. Why do I have resources? Oh, no. But it's not a big deal.
No.
It's a side thing. You have to go back there to upgrade your weapon anyway.
Yeah.
So...
Side note, you know what I like about the missions this time? Is it gives you XP. Like, it gives you as a player more XP.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I need that for leveling.
Yeah. Leveling is good.
It is good.
Yeah. And so in a general sense, so since everybody can level in whatever zone they want, we had entire groups of people leveling in various zones all at once. And some people talking about, oh, this zone's so cool, or this part's so awesome, or this is really fun, or I love this mechanic, or this area is so cool because the Thorn in the area, they do this differently or whatever. And then other people were just like, not like in this zone. It's taking a long time.
Yeah, I hate this place. It's stupid. And then other people saying, oh, I liked it. It was great. Yeah. What about this one part?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so cool. And our guild is cool too, that nobody's, like, giving too much away.
Yeah.
But making sure to let us know about cool things that we should stop and get and look at and things like that. So, and I've noticed, like, so many teeny weeny little things that are just awesome. Like, if you're following me on Twitter, you'll see, like, all my fucking, like, I've been taking screenshots like crazy.
Yeah.
But not too many things. Like, it's just too early. I'm always worried about spoilers, but just, like, little tidbits that you might want to look for yourself. It's just kind of cool, but... Or
something striking. There's lots of visually striking things.
Yeah. Like, honestly, aside from, how cohesive and wonderful this whole new expansion is so far, my favorite thing is the unicorns. Like, predictably... Like, that's what I said. If you go back to, like, the first couple episodes of Lagging Balls last year.
Yep.
Like, a year ago. The only thing I wanted in this game was a unicorn model. That's it. That's the only thing I wanted. and here it is.
Your life is complete.
It is complete. Like, I was playing...
It's all downhill from here.
I've been working on my mage mostly, but also my demon hunter, and I took my demon hunter... I asked the guild, I'm like, which zone has the unicorns in it? And they told me, and then I went there, and I was walking up a hill doing a quest, and I rounded a corner, and there were 2 unicorns, and I was just like...
Did you cry?
A little bit, yeah.
Aww.
Just a little bit. Yeah, and every
they're
time
really cool unicorns.
They're beautiful, and I know it may seem silly and stupid, but it's just like
It's not.
It's all I've ever wanted, and that's why I love like talbuks and wind steeds and yaks and moose or meese, because they're kind of like and the goats, like they're kind of like unicorns, and the shovel tusks. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself, but they're kind of like unicorns. Anyway, so I'm just saying like. For me, this expansion is like extra special because it includes like the silly, stupid little thing that I've always like wished so hard for. Like there it is. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think there are mounts yet like available
yet,
but that's okay. Like I'm okay with that. Just the fact that they exist is okay with me. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that, along with everything else.
Just to show how excited she is about that, folks, we have show notes here, and they say, first impressions of Legion, unicorns. In parentheses, like, right next to the notes,
like
unicorns.
I forget to talk about it.
I want to step back for 1 second, though, because one of the things that we talked about kind of off the air was during some of the other expansions, what our first impressions were, and I forgot to mention this while we were talking about Mists of Pandaria, but we were leveling our pandas together.
Yes.
In Mists of Pandaria. And
they were monks.
Right. Our panda monks, our Pandaren monks, and as you do. And we were in one of the starting areas. I want to say we were like level 14 or something. Some low-level thing. And we stopped and took a screenshot together.
Yep.
Because we were doing this. It's a new experience. It's exciting. Screenshots just like we were in Legion now, just like we were just talking about. But of our 2 pandas standing side by side. I posted that on social media. And the long and short of it is, I ended up losing a friend over that.
What happened?
So this person who used to be a relatively close friend of mine, who went to the same college and everything, she had a really bad opinion about people who play video games. And I had no idea about this. So I posted the thing, and she comments on it and just said, real life is better. And I was like, what the hell is that comment? So I comment back like, okay, that's cool and all, but this is a passion of mine and something I enjoy and I do with friends, and okay, well, you're entitled to your opinion. And she didn't say anything back, and so I messaged her privately and I was just like, hey, is there some issue? Like, is there something between us that I'm not aware of, or something I should be aware of? That
why do you hate me?
Yeah, basically, why do you hate me? And why do you hate fun? And she didn't answer, so I was like, all right, it was kind of pissing me off.
You got butthurt.
I got really upset, honestly, because it was uncalled for.
Yeah.
It was a friend who used to be relatively close, and we had drifted, and this was a weird comment, and it wasn't the only weird comment from her, but it was the most outright.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of a last straw thing with her, and she just, for other reasons, was not a good fit friend-wise. It was unfriending time, right?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm going to send her this note. If she doesn't respond to it and actually have a real conversation with me like a human being, then I think we're good. I think we're done.
Yeah.
And she didn't. And I think I gave it like 2 weeks or something, or a week or something like that.
You probably just like caught her, It's like some people are just cowards. They're like, oh, you're stupid, and then you message them.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, hey, what's going on?
And that's fine. I just didn't want any part of it, so she's out of my life now, and it's you know what? We're both better for it. We obviously have very different views on things, but I thought it was funny that something that was such a joy, and that is a part of this whole discussion, and that will be a part of a memory for us. As gamers who love Blizzard games, a new release of something is a milestone.
It's the most exciting thing that could possibly happen.
Right. And so it's funny that that's one thing where I lost a friend over it, which was
yeah, but we
it wasn't over that, really. There was obviously a lot more involved.
Yeah, but we bring this up because you're probably, if you're playing this expansion, you're playing it as much as possible, and some people just don't get that, and it's like with your friend. It's like she does not have to like video games, and she doesn't have to understand why you love to play them so much.
And she's not alone in that, by far.
Yeah, but she has to respect you.
Right.
If she's your friend. And so, like...
And she didn't, so she's not.
Yeah.
But that's, there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah. So
that's why Blizzard has such a wonderful community. That's why we're so nuts about the Blizzard community that we went and made a damn podcast about it. Mm-hmm. Because, they're...
Also because we're not qualified to talk about anything else.
Also true. But there's a lot of people out there who don't get gaming, and the people who are in the Blizzard community very much do.
Yeah.
People who are in the Blizzard community play these games, but so many more of us do so much more and are a part of something more. You feel like you're a part of a lot more.
Yeah. I think it's because Blizzard games bring people together.
Yeah.
And people who just play regular other video games don't really understand that,
Yeah.
Like if somebody just plays console games, not online maybe.
Yeah.
Then,
well, even if you do online.
Yeah. Maybe they can't understand why you would sit at your computer for 12 hours and play one game.
Yeah.
Because the games that they're familiar with aren't nourishing them in the same way that Blizzard games do. Blizzard games just sort of, we've covered this topic a million times before, but we thought it was important to bring this back up because, like, it's okay to let Blizzard, like, nourish your soul and just, like, give you everything you need, routine, a social life, validation, rewards, just, like, everything you need to feel good as a person. Blizzard gives you.
Yeah.
If you let them, so...
Yeah, and if you don't take it to extremes, all things in moderation, right? That's still a good... It's hard. It's hard.
What are you talking about?
But especially during a launch, it's really hard. But that's a really good point. Because you do get so much out of it, and you honestly miss a lot if you don't involve the social aspect. And that's why our guild has always been a social guild first.
Yeah.
And even though we're heavy into raiding more recently... it's still a social guild first.
Yeah.
And that's what's really... That's why we can talk about people who are coming back on and recognize those names and see our officer note about,
who they were.
Johnny
like
Utah who came
ago.
back from, and joined in 2007 or whatever. We know that, which is really cool. But for people who don't get gaming, it's harder to communicate with them and it's harder for them to understand. So, things like social media are really great because you can go on Twitter, you can post a screenshot, or talk about some funny, quirky thing that you ran across, or even complain about a little something that's not working right or whatever.
Yep.
And you'll get, 10 other people who are going to commiserate with you on that same point, just because they're also having that same shared experience.
You know what I love to do?
What?
Sometimes when I post something to Facebook, if I've been playing with our guildies, who I'm friends with on Facebook, I like to tag them in it.
Oh yeah.
So it's showing people that I'm hanging out with, air quotes, hanging out with people.
Sure, yeah.
In a way that they might understand better.
Yeah.
So, and that brings up something else. Blizzard Facebook streaming is available now.
Oh yeah.
And
the Facebook Live.
Yeah, Facebook
streaming.
Live. It's fucking fun.
Yeah, it is.
It's really cool.
It's a little too easy to do.
Yeah. I actually did it a few times accidentally the other day while leveling. So there's a video of my demon hunter fighting this big trash mob, and it accidentally recorded. And then later on, I was looking at my Facebook, and I got a bunch of likes on this video. I'm like, what video?
Oh no!
And it's just a random It's just it doesn't. I'm just fighting it, and then I'm just walking around doing quests for a little bit, and then I realize that it's recording, and I'm like, oh shit, and I turn it off, and then I forgot about it.
At least you didn't say something really embarrassing to yourself during it. Actually, maybe you did. Maybe that's why you got so many likes.
Oh, maybe, maybe. But
people were sharing it. Watch this. Talk to yourself like a fucking idiot.
She's stupid. But it's cool. Facebook is really important to me. I know it's not the coolest social media anymore, but it's important to me because I'm an immigrant. I live in a country where my family does not live, and most of my friends do not live. So I use Facebook to keep in contact with everybody.
Right.
Basically alone. That's the only way that I keep in contact with people at all, including my grandmother, who's really important to me.
And who is also very active on there.
Yeah. So
because she's awesome.
Yeah. So it's basically my lifeline to my family and friends, besides WoW. So this is really this is, for me, like in particular, it's fucking cool because now I can show like my mom and my grandma and all my friends back home and all the people that I know that don't play WoW what I do all the time.
Yeah.
You know, because like I've been pushing this podcast down people's throats, but like if they don't play these games, like,
right.
you know, they'll listen and they'll be like, oh, very good. You know, good
That's
job.
nice.
Yeah. But, and it, you know, I'm posting like screenshots all the time too and stuff like that, but to actually see what's going on.
Sure.
Is fucking cool, and so
especially
like,
if you're like recording voice with it or whatever too.
Yeah, and video
and
as well.
Yeah.
So it came out before Legion dropped, and so I was doing some Overwatch matches, and that was awesome. And it was like showing my friends who don't play it just how cool it is. And, And I was streaming at one point, and I typed in, I was just in a random group, and I was like, guys, please let me win. I want my Nana to see me win. And they're like, what? And then they're like, fuck you, you're stupid. And I was like, you guys are the best. We won anyway. But,
was it Overwatch?
Yeah, it was,
okay.
Of course it was. But with Legion, streaming Legion, like it's... You know, before an expansion or anytime something like cool with Blizzard happens, I'm posting updates about it because I'm excited about it, and I want people to know I'm excited. And you know, people like well-meaning people like aunts and uncles and my mom and stuff will click like and whatever, but they don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So all the streaming that I've done with Legion, except for the mistake video, I've tried to like sort of like give an expansive shot of like what it looks like, what I'm doing, you know, what my character looks like, and then, you know, kind of describing it a little bit. But for me, in my semi-unique situation, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It allows me to share a huge part of who I am with people who mean something to me or mean a lot to me. So that's why I like it. But, you know, for the more normal person, like it's really cool, and it's a really great way to, I know, Juden. Hey, Juden.
Hey, Juden.
Our guildmate, she was, streaming some, like firsts, like when she, you know, I think it was like when she got her artifact weapon or when she saw something for the first time or just,
yeah, those are good things to stream.
Yeah, just so she had like a record of doing those things first, which is a fucking great idea.
Yeah,
you know,
awesome.
So
for your own timeline, totally.
Exactly. So you're always going to have those videos there, and it's a great way. Like you can post it to pages. Like we have a guild page on Facebook that's really active. You can post it onto Facebook pages that you're a part of, like community groups and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah.
You're like, hey guys, look at this cool thing, and it's so fucking easy and cool, and it's an awesome idea, and I love the fact that it came out a few days before Legion, because, you know, next year when we're, you know, far, far away from this moment, we can go back and relive these moments.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's just so cool. So
and that's the aspect I never thought about. I thought when I got added to the beta for the thing, which was great, but I only got to use it like once or twice. They chose a far too busy person with work, unfortunately. But I always thought it was such a cool thing, because anybody who knows about streaming, who doesn't at least want to try it?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to dabble?
Yeah,
you know? What is this whole streaming thing? Let me try this out a little bit.
But the worst thing about streaming for the first couple of times is that you feel like so like nervous or exposed. And the worst is when you have your camera on, because you're like suddenly completely aware of your facial expressions.
Oh, yeah.
And so like sometimes you're like sucking in game where you usually wouldn't, because you're trying really hard to like not look like a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. That's
but what I was getting at was the you know, obviously the idea of putting something out there, streaming a video of what you're doing, is one aspect of it, but I never thought of what you said about going back later and reviewing it and seeing.
Yeah.
And what I'd like to see is some way for them to integrate some part of it into the game, so that when people are commenting or something like that, you can see that in the game. 'Cause that's the one thing that's missing.
Yeah.
Is you can't see if people are clicking like or if they're commenting on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the one.
You can see if
aspect
people are watching, at least.
Yeah, but not on your screen, not in game.
Yeah, but if you have your phone next to you, I mean, that's the next best thing.
I know there's ways around it. I know you can have it up on a second screen.
Yeah.
For those of us who are fortunate enough for that, and believe me, I very much appreciate that after finally getting a second screen more recently.
Yeah, like
and,
last
and
month.
never having had that before. It's amazing, and I don't ever want to go back. It's so much better. But the idea of the streaming itself. Let me ask you this: why do you think they went with Facebook instead of Twitch?
I don't know.
Twitch is the pervasive. This is where you stream, kind of the home for it. Why Facebook instead?
I don't know. I think Blizzard partnered up with Facebook in some capacity, so there must have been some sort of deal.
Okay.
Which I think is really smart. Like, who wouldn't want to partner with Facebook?
Plus, Facebook Live is still relatively new.
Yeah, I love Facebook Live.
Yeah.
I subscribe to Kevin Smith, and it's just... I mean, if you're a podcaster listening, you know that Kevin Smith is, like, the greatest podcaster of all time. Not arguably, but anyway, you should subscribe to him. You can, like, see him feed his dogs and shit like that. Anyway.
He makes the most inane things really interesting.
I know.
But yeah, so Facebook Live was new, and this was just a really good time. I'm not knocking it, by the way, because the thing about streaming on Twitch is it's complicated.
Yeah.
It's not a simple turn it on and go. There's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
But because there's a lot more to it than that, there is a lot more you can do with it.
Yeah.
Including the in-game overlays and all that kind of... Anyway.
I don't know. But
I think it makes sense for Facebook. My theory on the question is that it's because Facebook is something everybody has.
Yeah.
Facebook is something that everybody could use.
Yeah.
And they made it so incredibly easy that you tie it to your Facebook and then you hit go and you're streaming and that's it.
I think I know why.
Why?
Twitch seems like the obvious answer, right?
Yeah.
But that's already gamers. People who game are already on Twitch.
Sure.
But on Facebook, you've got all those people who don't play.
Yeah.
All the plebs in your life.
Plebs.
So you're showing everybody on Facebook how much fucking fun you're having, and they're like,
good
oh
point.
shit, I gotta get that game.
That's also a very good point.
And then they become non-plebs, and then you're more like close with that
noobs.
person. Yeah, and then they become noobs, and so on. But that person in your life suddenly... Okay, isn't it awesome when people in your life start playing WoW that never played before,
yes.
and you're like, come to my bosom, new best friend. This is life now. But yeah, so the streaming, awesome.
Yes.
Legion, awesome.
Yes.
We're just, honestly, if we could just start another podcast right now and not worry about spoilers and everything, like, I'd be able to just, like, talk
We'd
about
be
all
off to the races.
Yeah, and we will be next week.
Yes.
Definitely.
So, spoiler alert for the future.
Yes, this is your warning.
You have a whole week advance spoiler alert.
Yeah.
That if you haven't gone through at least a couple of the zones by next week, there will be spoilers in that episode. We're going to be talking about specifics.
Yes.
So be prepared for that.
Yeah, but
in the meantime, honestly, it was, again, so smooth. The only issue that I had, and I don't know about you, but the only issue I had was DDoS attacks, which is not their fault.
Okay. So whenever a DDoS attack happens,
yes,
it's like when you're playing a board game as a kid and a bully comes up and just takes his arm and wipes it across the table, and then all of your pieces fall into the floor.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if that's ever happened. It's like in a movie, you know? Like,
yep.
the nerdy kids are playing a cool game, the bully comes along and just wipes it off the table.
Yep.
And when something like that happens, like, in an instant, you get, like, angry immediately.
Yeah.
You know when, like, somebody scares you and you get angry? Or when your earphones or earbuds are ripped out
yeah.
for some reason and you get instantly angry? You feel that, you know? It's like, all of a sudden, DDoS attack. Like, at first you're like, oh, I'm lagging, what's happening? And then you find out it's a DDoS attack, and then you're just like, ooh, you know? It's like, who can I punch? Like, who did this?
Yeah.
Who did this? Who is responsible? Who is, like, the focus of my rage right now? Who are these people?
Yeah.
Who are these people?
I don't know. Who the hell are they?
That's always the question that comes to my mind immediately. Yeah. Who is this person?
Who are these DDoSers?
And, like, we've covered on this show many a time, like, who are trolls? Why do trolls do what they do?
Yeah.
And the answer is they love pissing people off. It's fun.
They like
it's
to watch
funny
the
for
world
them.
burn.
Exactly. They don't give a shit. They just think it's funny. It seems like DDoSers are just a little bit different than trolls, you know, because they're not like getting instant gratification, you know, they're not actively like talking to somebody and making someone angry or confused, right. You know, they're making some kind of statement, you know, they're looking for some kind of specific attention and you know, like I'm sure that some of them just love like knowing that they're taking away so many people's happiness all at once. I'm sure that's the reason. But like, what kind of person is a DDoSer? Who is a DDoSer?
I'm sitting here shaking my head. Yeah.
So we've come up with another lagging balls list of like who DDoSers might be.
Yeah.
And we posed this question to you: do you suppose that a person who does DDoS attacks, do you think that they just need a little love?
They need a lot of love.
Do you think?
I think they have some deep-seated issues.
I think so, too. Let's cover that, shall we? Okay, so maybe a person who likes to do DDoS attacks or be a part of that was always picked last at sports.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, you know, when all the kids line up and there's two team captains and they're like, I pick Jimmy.
Yeah.
I pick Susie.
Right.
I pick the other guy.
Oh, I guess I'll take Tommy.
Yeah, and like Tommy's the last one, and he's like, oh, pick last again. And, you know, it fucking hurts you because as a kid, you're just like, this is the most embarrassing thing that could possibly happen because
it happens every week in gym and every day on the playground.
Yeah, nobody likes me and I suck at sports.
Yeah.
Right. So this person grows up with like something completely wrong inside their head, and then they turn into fucking assholes.
Fucking assholes.
And the idea of like ruining thousands of people's fun all at once is appealing to that person.
It's fun for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh. Maybe their parents never bought them toys.
Yeah.
So they don't know what fun is.
Right. Like how my parents...
The poor DDoSers, they don't know what fun is.
Aww.
I feel so bad for those assholes.
My parents never bought me moon shoes.
Moon shoes?
Well, is that what
Are those the ones where you like strap on and you bounce within the shoes?
You break your ankles?
Yeah. Well, they didn't get them for you, but look how you turned out.
That's true.
Are you a DDoSer?
No.
Good, because I'd have to hate you.
My parents did buy me WoW, though.
It's true.
In vanilla time.
And that's far better than moon shoes.
Yes.
I'd wager.
Maybe they just suck at video games and they're super jealous of us.
That could be it.
That's what I think it is, you know?
Fucking plebs.
It's like, oh, this game's hard, I don't get it. Instead of getting good because I'm a scrub, I'm just gonna ruin it for everybody. That'll show them.
I don't get it.
They're just jelly.
I don't get it. But I met, he wasn't a DDoSer, but I met a kid once who terrorized Second Life for the fun of it. Like, he and a group of friends were all up in Second Life, and he, like, logged in and showed me. I was there because I was, like, there for an event for his sister, and it was just in this big house, and he was, you know, I was interested in Second Life because I was interested in MMOs and that whole thing, and we got to talking about it, and then he was like, oh, let me show you something. So he brings it up on his laptop, and then he shows me how he just, like, put this person in the box and then left him there or something. Like, it was something strange like that. So it was another player, and he just completely like fucked him over.
Wow.
And then just laughed maniacally.
Ew.
And the kid definitely seemed like there's, and this is a real story. Like, I'm not making this up. This is a real kid. And then he like proceeded to tell me all about like this group of friends he has and how they all just terrorize.
So he
Second
fell
Life
in with
regularly.
a gang and
basically. And he was telling me about all these things where like they, you know, there was this big public event and they came there and just ruined everything. Yeah. And like, I forget what they like duplicated a lot of like objects or something like that. So they basically just filled the whole space with shit. And like, it wasn't like poop. It was like squares or something. I don't know. Yeah. They were basically hacking the game.
That's like a troll 2.0.
It was absolutely a troll. But that's what they did. They did not participate in Second Life to do anything Second Life related other than ruin other people's time.
I wonder if like they'd signed up for Second Life because their actual life sucked, and then they found out that their lives still suck in Second Life. So
I don't know what the kid's excuse was. His parents were crazy rich, so I don't know if he just had too much time on his hands. But I don't know. Maybe he's now a DDoSer.
Yeah,
maybe that's where you start.
Because maybe he got picked last sports.
Yeah. Maybe he just couldn't afford a subscription to Blizz Games.
That's true. Maybe.
Well, he's not an example of that, but maybe that's what other DDoSers are.
Maybe DDoSers just, they can't afford the subscription.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have jobs because they're assholes. Nobody wants to work with them. So they're like, oh, well, I guess I'll just DDoS because I'm a fucking asshole. Maybe nobody pays attention to them in real life.
Aww.
I mean, I'm
Seriously,
sure...
though, in all honesty, that'd be horrible.
It would be. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, if nobody paid attention to me in real life, I would go crazy. I need attention. Please pay attention to me. Listen to my voice. See, I'm thinking about that scenario in my head, and it's awful.
I'm paying attention to you.
Thank God.
There's at least one other person listening to this show. We have at least one listener this week. Don't worry.
Hi, Mom.
Somebody out there is going to get tired of in-game, or maybe be on their second tune and be like, hey, let me flip on this podcast while I level.
Yeah. But maybe just nobody pays attention to them, and they turn to, ruining people's good times.
Yeah.
For solace.
Yeah, maybe they're just, the radical outdoorsy type who just, are trying to strengthen their ranks.
Yes! They're trying to make us go outside!
Yeah, like those guys who, hold up in, Oregon or whatever with a bunch of shotguns.
Yeah.
In the national park.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they're those guys. And they're like, you know what? Not enough people are paying attention to us. Let's ruin a bunch of servers of video games. Then people will be forced to pay attention.
Exactly.
Wake up, sheeple.
Yeah. Go outside. Go into the forest and get eaten by a wolf.
Because reasons.
Yeah, because raisins. Maybe in DDoS culture, it's cool to ruin fun.
Okay, I feel like you wrote this point as a joke. But I feel like that's actually accurate. It's
probably the truth.
I think that's the real deal. I think you struck upon a truth here while trying to make a joke.
Yeah, that's not funny, though.
Because in DDoS culture, I'm pretty sure it is cool to ruin fun, because that's the point, isn't it?
I guess.
These are hackers.
I fucking hate them.
I know. I don't really hate hackers.
No, I think hackers are cool. But these ones in particular, I hate.
Yeah, because I just feel like I know a lot of hackers are out there to free information for people.
Yeah.
And to break down, and things like WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
That sort of hacking.
Yeah.
There is a social aspect that is improving the world.
Yeah.
By doing that sort of thing.
Like those people who go after criminals anonymously.
Yeah.
Yeah, those kind of people. I love those people.
And I don't agree with this one, but even the ones who attack corporations or something like that because they feel like the corporation's doing something evil.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but I can understand that.
Totally.
Whereas, and I also understand why they get thrown in jail by the FBI. But also, what I don't understand is why would you want to ruin people's good time?
Yeah.
If you have the ability to do these things, you're probably a pretty smart fucking person.
Absolutely.
If you can do something as complicated as a DDoS attack, first of all, I don't think it's necessarily one single person. Maybe it is. I don't know how these work exactly. In fact, this is inspiring me to go look up more about how this whole thing works. But if you can hack in any capacity, you're probably pretty smart.
Absolutely.
And if you're pretty smart, I don't understand why you hate fun.
Yeah.
Why don't you use this for something else?
Yeah, use your powers for good instead of evil.
Yeah. White hats, guys. White hats.
We're just trying to play WoW.
Yeah.
That's all.
What did Blizzard players ever do to you?
Yeah.
An open letter to DDoSers.
Yeah. And, maybe DDoSers are just under the false impression that DDoSing will get them laid.
Wait, it doesn't?
No.
Oh, I thought that was the whole point. Wait a minute. If they're not getting laid.
I certainly don't want to have sex with anybody who takes away WoW from me, okay?
That's true.
It's like...
But, there's a lot of interests out there.
It's like a super hot guy or girl or whatever comes up and this person's just like, hey, baby, and I'm just like, okay, I'm ready.
And they're
Let's
wearing
do that.
lanyard with a badge that says, I'm a DDoSer and I ruined X number of hours of gaming time.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah, it just... It's like
baby.
The least sexy thing you could do to a woman is take away Blizzard games.
Yes.
Just saying. In the world, go up to a woman and hand her some fucking WoW game time. like, hand her a WoW card and just be like, here, have some 30 days of fun on me. And she's like, oh my god, jewelry. I suddenly want to have sex with you. And then take it away from her and say, no, and then rip it up, you know, like, bite it, and you know, just rip up the card, and then see what happens. Sound effect for biting things. You know? Like, then she's just like, oh, I will never have sex with you. Ever.
It's over.
Yes, and she grabs a mop because, like, her previously flooded basement has now gone bone dry forever. She mops that shit up. She's like, nah. So, DDoSers, you may be very, very smart and computer savvy, which is very sexy. But if you take away Blizzard fun, you're not getting any.
Yeah, right.
From girls or guys.
Yeah, remember that's the moral of the story here, guys. DDoSing equals no sex.
Yes.
Okay?
Ever.
So I think we just solved this.
I think so too.
I think we're good now.
Yeah, we're good now.
So the one issue we were having during Legion launch, which was honestly still not that big a deal.
No.
We got kicked off, I want to say twice.
Yeah.
In the whole time that we played, which was like 8 hours or something like that straight in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No. It was fine.
And there was not, like, barely any server lag or anything like that. I did not run into any
Blizz
of those
had that
things.
shit in the palm of their hand. So if any DDoSers happen to be listening, you know, we're willing to give you love and support. You just need to stop giving us a hard time.
Yeah, I'll pick you first at sports.
Absolutely. We'll teach you how to play WoW if you don't know.
Yeah, let's do this.
Maybe I can find you a sexy friend I have. Do you like Canadians? Because I know tons of them.
Do you like sex?
They're all sexy. All of them. Just stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. Just stop, please. Yeah, so that's the end of our show for this week.
So, yeah. I mean, is this a bad time to tell you that I'm a DDoSer?
Oh. What's the opposite of, like, turned on? What is the extreme?
Turned off?
What is more extreme than turned off? Like dead? Like literally dead? Like I am so turned off that I have died.
I don't know, but what's the opposite of hi?
Bye?
Bye, Felicia!
Fuck!
Hey gang, we need your help. We're tagging this shitbox as a community-focused podcast, but so far it's just been us talking shit. We need you to give us stuff.
Delicious content, like questions, topics to cover, content segments, guild stories, emails, and disputes that need settling.
We'll even get some shoutouts and accept your own podcast commercials for promotion. Gimme, gimme, gimme.
Please.
And now, Lagging Balls would like to officially salute our generous Patreons. Judith, Brandon, Spanky, Tyler, Peter, Heather, Christopher, and Thomas. We want you to know officially that we love you, and not just because you're funding this sinking ship, but because you believe in us. We also love you because we're attracted to you, but that's another story.
If you are interested in becoming a Patreon, no pressure, visit laggingballs.com.
I know you've been very concerned about me lately, and I know what it's about. I've been playing Pokemon non-stop. That's right. You tell me that World of Warcraft has a pet that's a dancing I guess it's naked, but a dancing drunk bear, and I'll get my ass back there right now, Legion or no Legion, I'll be playing it. Also, I've been saving a whole bunch of money already. You see, before I was playing this Dragon Ball Z mobile game, yes, I already dropped at least $2,000 on it. But thanks to Pokemon, I've been spending so much less money. Also, that is why you are not allowed to use the credit card anymore. I'm tired of getting text messages asking me if someone stole my credit card. No! No one's gonna steal a credit card and drop $800 in iTunes. Nobody does that. Nobody. Well, maybe me, but...
Thanks for lagging balls together with us today. Here's where you can find and follow the show. Email us at laggingballs@gmail.com.
Follow us on Twitter at laggingballs.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/laggingballs.
Reblog our Tumblr at laggingballs.tumblr.com.
And for YouTube and Google+, search for Lagging Balls Official until we have 500 followers, and then we'll get a custom URL.
Ooh! If you enjoyed the show, the easiest way to help the show is to rate us on iTunes and Stitcher. We truly appreciate it.
Special thanks to bensound.com for all the music used on this show.
And be sure to catch us next week on Lagging Balls!
I don't know, but what's the opposite of high?
Low.
Bye, Felicia!
Oh, I get it. Do you want to do that again?
Sure, yeah.
I'm sorry I ruined that.